Hi everybody, Judy Tuttle here with Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm coming to you from Midland, Texas for day 2 of our 30 straight days of casing the catalog. You guys normally see me here at noon on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays for my online card class to go. But this week we are doing the craft along tomorrow, okay? And my goal is to be here at 11 a.m. tomorrow to do the craft along with you on June the 3rd. Then later in the afternoon, I will be back to do day number 3 of our casing through the catalog. So tomorrow will be a bonus live day with me. How lucky are you? So anyway, a couple things I need to chat with you about. So yes, casing through the catalog will go every day in June. If you would like to get the recipe cards for each of the cards we make in the craft along, you can do that by joining my email list. Everybody who's in my email list will get the recipe cards for these projects every 2 or 3 days for free. It's our gift to you. So we want you to join my email list. I will put a link to that up in the description, and come back every day. Every day I will let you know when I'm going to go live, and you can come join me and watch me case something in the catalog. Now, somebody asked me yesterday, what does case mean? Case means copy and share everything. You're allowed to copy and share everything. So it's a word we use in the Stampin' Up community that means feel free to case my project. You can copy it and share the joy with other people. So we are straight up casing the catalog together this week, okay? So come back every day. Now, I can't promise I will be live every single day. I have a couple of small vacations planned in the month of June, but I will at least show you the picture and talk about the project and what page it's on. And then if you're in my email list, you can get that recipe card as well. Okay, so you should really join my email list. That's the best way for you to get all the PDFs of all these projects that we're doing together this month. Okay, so the next quick thing I want to talk to you about, starting tomorrow, Stampin' Up is doing a special of sweets and sweet products. Buy one, get one 50% off. Buy one, get one 50% off. But I want to make sure that you know and understand how that works. Okay, so I'm going to take this graphic off. If you put a sweet in your cart and then you put another whole sweet in your cart, the second sweet will be 50% off. Okay, but this also includes sweet products. Okay, so here's the caveat that I want to make sure you understand, because I don't want anybody to be frustrated and calling me saying it's not working. If you put a sweet in your cart and then you put another sweet in your cart, and then you put some DSP from a sweet in your cart and another set of DSP in your cart, you have 4 items in your cart. The 2 most expensive items will be full price. The 2 less expensive items will be half price. So you might need to be a little savvy in how you do this. If there are 2 sweets you want and you really want to get $40 or $50 off of a sweet, I would put in one order for every sweet to sweet you want to order. So if you want to order 2 sweets at full price, you can get 2 sweets at half price, okay? Now, you don't want to start adding then some DSP or ribbon or other things from sweets, because the most expensive items are going to be full price and the least expensive items are going to be half price. So if there's a designer series paper you want from any of the sweets, and you don't necessarily need the whole suite, do everything 1-to-1. Buy the DSP from this suite, match it with a DSP from this suite, or anything else least expensive, okay? If you want, I would not put sweets in the same order with DSP or ribbon or bundles. But you can get a bundle full price and get another bundle half price. But if you put those in the same order with 2 sweets, The suites are going to be full price and the bundles are going to be half price. I hope that makes sense. So, 1-to-1, if you put in 4, if you put in 6, if you put in 8, the most expensive items are going to be full price. The least expensive items are going to be half price. So be a little savvy on how you do that. Now that you get rewards as well, you might as well put in one order for the suites and one order for DSP or ribbon or bundles or whatever. I think that's probably going to be the best way for everyone to handle that. If you need help, I'm here. You know my email. And if you're in my email list, you also know my phone number. So feel free to reach out to me if you're struggling in any way. That sale, BOGO sale with Stampin' Up, starts tomorrow, okay? And goes through the whole month of June. Now, things are going to start selling out. I know they are. So when suites start selling out, you're not going to be able to buy the whole suite. You're going to have to buy parts of the suite. So something to think about there as well. Okay, so who wants to start? And you know what? I'm so silly. I need to grab my phone. So let me come right back, okay? All right there, friends. I'm so sorry. Right before I was going to go live, I had to run and get my banana bread out of the oven. And I grabbed my phone and took it with me. Who knows why? So let me get my hands all set up here, and then we can do this together. Hang on. It's going to be silly for me here now that there we go. I had to get my banana bread out of the oven, and I grabbed my phone and took it with me in there because I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I wanted her to be able to hear me. And then I forgot to bring it back in. So here we go. Here's my hands right here. Here we go. I'm silly. Okay. So today we are casing a project that is on the front cover of the catalog here. It's not the scrapbooking page today, although we will be casing some scrapbooking pages as the month goes on. We are actually going to be casing this Secret C beautiful banner card that is right here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. I've got all my parts already cut and ready to go here. So we have a piece of, let me move these pieces over to here. Let me go to my hands. Why is it not showing? Let me try this Netty Cam one more time. Good thing you guys know that this never happens to me on Facebook, right? Oh dear, dear, dear. I'm here. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me go to camera. Netty Cam. There we go. Sheesh. Okay. So is anybody out there still with me? Okay. So we're starting with a piece of Secret C that's cut 4 1/4 by 11, scored down the middle at 5 1/2. Okay. Then we have a piece of that Florals and Bloom Designer Series paper. Isn't this side gorgeous? We're really going to kind of copy this bloom that's right here on the front of our card. Okay, so I have cut a piece exactly the same size as my card front. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to use liquid glue because I want to be able to wiggle this and get it exactly where I need it. So I'm going to add some liquid glue here. Well, that just came out and then it stopped. Let's count how many things can go wacky today. Okay. There we go. All going to put this right here on the front card. I love Secret Sea. Secret Sea might be my favorite new in color. So I like to kind of tap my paper, get the edges really straight there. And then sometimes a little bit will go off the edge. So I'm just going to grab my little guillotine cutter here. Cut the slightest edge off of that. There we go. All right, so there's my card front. Now, we have a new set of banner dies that are pretty awesome. Hi, Imelda. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Laura. I'm glad you're here. So this is a new set of dies called the Party Banner Dies. Look how many banners you get in this set. You can do big banners for parties. You can use the littler banners for cards. You can do mix and match them. You can layer them. They even give you dies for the holes in the banner, reinforcements there. But we're using the 6th largest. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 banner dies in this set right here. Okay, so I've cut a banner out of basic white right here. I don't know where that heart came from. We're going to throw that away. And then I have another piece of that floral and bloom paper that is the back side of the ones with the purples in them. And this piece is 3/4 of an inch by 2 7/8 of an inch. And 2 7/8 is exactly the width of this banner right here. Exactly the width of it. Okay, so I'm going to grab my liquid glue again, add a little liquid glue to that edge, and I'm just going to put this DSP, just like they did on the front cover of the catalog, right here at the top of that banner. Okay, now I cut mine purposely a little bit longer to make sure that it would fit inside that banner. So I need to grab some scissors and cut that excess off those edges there. So like I said, tomorrow is going to be a craft along. I'm going to come on at 11 a.m. And do the craft along with you, those of you who bought it ahead of time, and maybe some of you are going to want it afterwards, and in which case we can make that happen as well. Okay, so let me put this banner die away here. So I have my banner, I have my DSP at the top of it there. I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm using these two sets on this card, the Sweet Blooms. All I'm using on this set is the word hello right here. And then the Pretty Florals, I'm using this bouquet and these flowers right here. Now, this is a very expensive bundle. It's $120 something. It would be really nice to match this bundle with another bundle so that you get 50% off starting tomorrow, right? Okay, so I've got my garden green ink here, and I'm gonna ink up this trio of leaves right here, and I'm gonna stamp it right here. I think this bundle, the Florals and Bloom bundle and Sweet, is my favorite of the whole catalog because I love these in colors and it really brings them to light. Okay, and I have right here the solid images of those blooms, and I'm going to use my ink spot that has cloud cover on it because you guys know, I'm sure you've heard already. Now let's make sure, I want to make sure all the oils and everything are off of this. Cloud cover ink, there was a chemical reaction that was occurring between the foam pad and the ink. So they recommended that we buy the cloud cover re-inker and use an ink spot, which is what I'm doing right here. Okay, now if someone tries to sell you a foam pad with cloud cover in it on eBay or anywhere, don't buy it because it's probably not good, or else they would have kept it. All right, they're not supposed to be selling those things before they're retired anyway. So, but they let demos buy them just to try them out, and most of them are like, yep, it didn't work. Okay, so there is my background, my solid image. And now I'm going to grab my Secret C and do the detailed image here. So I'm inking this up with Secret C, and I'm going to go in right on top of that cloud cover and stamp some detail right there. How pretty is that? Isn't that lovely? I love those flowers. All right, now I'm going to take some linen thread and I'm going to wrap it around the top of this banner and then tie it in a bow on the right side. Okay. I'm going to put a bow right here on this right side with my linen thread. There we go. Nice little sweet linen thread bow. I love linen thread bows. Well, let's just say I love all bows, right? Okay, so this is now, how pretty is that? It's going to get popped up right here in the bottom right corner. Kind of equidistant from the bottom of the banner and the right side. You want it offset just a little bit to the right, okay? And we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. So, you guys, how do you get the recipe cards for all of these projects for June? I'll let that sit there. Maybe somebody can answer for us. You can always watch my videos. If you want all the supplies used and all the measurements, then you need to get the recipe card from me, which isn't going to have step-by-step directions. It's going to have supplies used and measurements is what it's going to have, because you can always watch this video for how to put it together, right? Okay, so there we go. Next, I have a piece of garden green. And on my garden green, I'm going to emboss with white embossing powder. Let me put this away. I don't even think I need that anymore. The word hello. So I'm grabbing my Versamark ink. You could also use white craft ink if you wanted to. Either one will work for white embossing. Okay, so I've got my Versamark. I'm going to ink up my hello and I'm going to stamp it. I made this a little bigger than I needed to because I like to cut my sentiments down after I emboss them. Okay, so I've got my white embossing powder here in a little tub, and I've got my hello, which I'm going to cover with that white embossing powder. I'm going to do it a couple of times there. Tap, tap, tap it off. There we go. I'm going to pull in my heat gun. Kind of like a blow dryer, but with more concentrated heat here. And I'm going to heat this, and it's like magic. You guys are going to see it happen right here on camera. So you'll have to be annoyed by the sound for just a second, but we're just going to heat it, and it's going to melt that powder and turn it into shiny embossing. There we go. You see that? It's got a shine to it now. You can kind of tell. I always kind of tilt it to make sure nothing is dull on it, that it's all shiny. There we go. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer here. And the first thing I'm going to do is trim this to 1/2 of an inch. Right there. And then I'm going to trim a little bit off this edge right here. I think we said 1 7/8 originally. There we go. Okay, hello is going to go right up here. I'm going to use some mini dimensionals. Okay, right along this top edge here. There we go, and maybe a couple down here on this bottom edge. Pull these off, and this is going to get adhered right over that linen thread on the left-hand side here. Hi, Chris. Thanks for coming to me from Iowa. I love Iowa. Okay. There we go. And I think, you know what I'm going to need? I'm going to need a second set of dimensionals on this side, or else it's going to be not level. So let me add one more dimensional to the left side here. There we go. Perfect. There we have our hello. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my dots here, and we can use any color we want. This is our in color, what are they called exactly? In color flat pearls. And I'm just going to kind of scatter some on here. I like to use an odd number. You guys know that. Use another one, I think, right here. And maybe one off the side of the banner. Right about right here. There we go. There's our case of the card front. Do you guys love that? Okay, and then I thought, I didn't really plan for the inside of the card, so let's do something on the inside here. I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Let me see. Let's see how close I am there. You know, don't do this at home, but I have cut so many 4 by 5 1/4 that I kind of have a good eye for it. Okay, so here's 4 by 5 1/4. And I think we should grab some more of that DSP. Let's see if I can find some here. Here we go. I think I want this along the bottom edge. What do you think? So let's go down to 4. They don't show us the inside of the cards typically, so we have to kind of use our own creative liberties with adding whatever we want to the inside, right? So here we go. I'm going to put this piece right here at the bottom. Let me look at the stamp set real quick and see if there's anything else I want to add. I think I'm just going to keep it like that. Grab my liquid glue. So tomorrow I will be sending the first 2 recipe cards out for the first 2 projects of June, and then after that, about every 2 or 3 days, we will send out an email with the PDFs in it of the projects we've done up until that time. And there we go. I think I want a little bit off that edge, but I'll do that later. So here is our finished project. Do you guys like that? Isn't it so fun? And it really was pretty easy. And the front of the catalog, right here. I cased it right off the front of the catalog right there. It's right there at the bottom. So I hope you guys love our project today. And again, you can get the PDF recipe card of this project. Remember, it's pictures, supplies used, and measurements of how to cut things. But the directions are right here in the video that we're giving you. So God bless. I will see you back here tomorrow at 11 o'clock for our craft along using the Impressions of Bloom suite and something else. Last week we did the celebratory sips suite for our online class to go. And we're going to extend that through tomorrow because we want, if you would like that class to go, we want you to be able to get that suite, which will be part of the BOGO sale tomorrow with the BOGO, buy one, get one free. So the celebratory sips class from last week will continue on through tomorrow. Okay, usually we cut it off on Sunday, but we want people who want that suite to be able to make those projects, to be able to get it in a BOGO. Okay, so God bless everybody. See you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time. Bye-bye.